Hello.
I don't. Oh, there I go.
Yeet, we're back.
Hmm.
That was dramatic.
Yeah. Streamlabs reverted to the cache of everything, which means that like the session number wasn't updated, but otherwise I think everything else on the overlay is fine. I don't want to fiddle with the music, so we'll just go without music for now. So I was saying, you saw their movement, Wukong, getting closer to you, staying inside the building, but approaching you. Maybe to get a better, like, view of who's there. At the same time, Bridget and Sophia, you can make out some figures inside, shadows for the most part. People trying to keep low and move towards the windows.
I'm still keeping myself so that, like, Sophia can't suddenly get kidnapped outside of the car.
Okay. They haven't, they don't move outside, though. They don't come out. The voice. Oh, my bad. The voice says, "You've been staying idle for a while. We don't like that. I said turn around or we're gonna have to be forced to turn you around."
That's rude.
Still don't have no introductions neither. I see that they are a very rude population.
Okay, guess we'll see you later. Bye.
Bungo looks at you quizzically. Then looks at Wukong.
Yes, it's time for you to show off your fancy driving skills and execute a 3-point turn.
In the semi?
And it actually does a 3-point turn.
Perfect textbook 3-point turn.
You would not expect anything else from Bongo.
Well then, y'all have yourselves a pleasant day. It was nice meeting you. If you require assistance in the future, just look for the McLeans. We'll be here to help. Have yourself a fine day. And she'll, like, have Tiernan back the hell up because I'm not putting my back to these people.
Nobody fires at you. Nobody does anything. You make your way back down the hill, looking at the map that Joe Montana gave you, or that you bargained Joe for. And the circle is right where this building is. Whatever it is, you are in the right place. Jesus. I apologize if I cut off again. I'm just going to say it right now. If the power goes out, we're not going to come back live. I just don't know if it's going to hold. I can hear some, like, trees are. My house is under attack by trees, is what I should say.
Oh no. It's not good. So, as we turn around, Sophia's gonna look at them and look at the other two and be like, "So we gotta break in."
Is there a
Snoop around, do a reconnaissance mission.
Is there a particular reason you want to break into everything?
because there's stuff to know about. And if they don't want us to know about it, then I really want to know about it. Who are they? What are they doing here? Does this fancy new building have fancy stuff that we can use? What are they doing to the trees locally? Side-eyes Wukong. But like why is there a map to this place? There's got to be something good in there, you know? I'm just not much for a full frontal. I'm not like a. I'm squishy, so I prefer to sneak in the back way. Or we just do some information digging. We figure out what they need, and we can offer them a bargain.
Yeah, but
They didn't seem very conducive to a bartering or a negotiation. They just, well, wanted to keep one of us.
Well, we could have
Except for
a big metal friend attack them instead. And I don't mean you. I mean.
I have so many concerns right now, not the least of which would be, what would we be bartering for? All we know is that this map had this location on it. Do we know anything about what's at this location?
Are there any other notable markings on the map? Scratches or notes or symbols or anything?
If you look at the map closely, you would notice that a question mark was erased, like right under where the circle is.
Well, this little question mark makes me wonder if, one, maybe there's an alternative entrance somewhere or something. Or two, if whoever was putting this map together completely had no idea what was here and we're just, you know, crap out of luck. I would like to suggest that we go to this place and find the square and poke around a little bit. And see if this is about something else or if it's about this particular ruin.
All right, then. You're the lady in charge of the map. I'm just in charge of getting us through the wild to get to where you want to go. And Wukong is in charge of everything else.
Well, I don't really know why you guys let me... I don't really know why you guys let me be in charge of the map, but I do think it's fair that Wukong's in charge of everything else.
You make your way to that question mark, which is basically, instead of going up the hill to that building, you would need to... you're going to need to park the truck somewhere, as the vegetation is just too dense to keep driving. Bongo can turn on the security systems and keep Bongo safe. The question mark is at the foot of the hill, to the south of this weather station. And you notice, hidden through the vegetation, a metal door. It is surrounded by concrete, like a fire escape from a building. There are no handles on this side. It's made purely to exit. And things have been scratched into, words have been scratched into the door. Do not open.
Sophia's gonna bow dramatically and gesture Wukong to the door. The thing in charge of everything else.
You're muted.
Weren't you?
Oh, no, that you're good.
You were.
Weren't you just chastising me yesterday for using too much of a heavy hand? Now you want me to break down a door that's clearly marked as "Do not open."
There's a big difference between breaking down a man-made structure and destroying a huge swath of forest. Besides, if I was holed up in some top secret operative facility, I would tell people that there were bad things at the back door too.
In my experience, those folk who are holed up in the top secret facility usually do have bad things at the back door. Do I see any sort of security system, alarms, security cameras?
No, it looks like... Actually, you know what? No, you do see something strange. On the ground, surrounding this fire exit, are remains of camouflage tarps. Like, not camo pattern, because it would
Yeah, no.
be too visible, but like a
Like the top you hang over gear to kind of...
yeah, the ghillie suit. No, not a ghillie suit. A shit, what's the word for it? The like grass and moss stuff that you would cover like a sniper with.
A ghillie suit.
A ghillie suit.
Isn't that what that is?
No, that was the water one. I think it's part of it, but yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah, we know what you're talking
that. As if this was put there after the end of the world, before today. It's been removed since. But yeah, definitely someone tried to hide this exit from others.
Well then, Wukong, are we opening this door or are we not opening this door? I defer to you on this.
So Wukong is just going to reach out with both of his hands and jam them into the door to yank it out.
You force, and slowly the door bends under your robotic augmented strength, and you just remove it like a cloth, really. You fling it to the side. It is a fireproof door. Well, used to be. Inside is a dimly lit concrete corridor with pipes running along the ceiling on your right-hand side. The lighting is just a few LEDs placed. Well, they should have been at in a certain interval. Most of them have burnt out over the years, and so sometimes you'll have like a LED every foot, and then you'll skip like 10 feet before you have another one, and then etc, etc. So the light is not particularly present, but it's enough, faint enough, that you can at least see a few like yards before you, like maybe a good like 30 feet or so.
Would I be able to do Unearth Forgotten Lore again here for what this backdoor entrance might be? Or is
yes.
it considered part of the same structure?
Not for the back door. I'll say if you get somewhere inside that like would bring more information about this place. Right now, this is a fire escape. Like
Okay.
it's a concrete tunnel. However, it is large enough to only let either Bridget and Sophia walk side by side, or Wukong by himself.
Is it tall enough for me to...
You'd have to be on all fours. Well, I mean, by that I meant like lurching forward, moving on your like hands,
Yeah,
like
sure.
a gorilla, but you can't stand up to your full height. Like the ceiling is about 8 feet.
Okay. I suppose I should probably just stay out here and stand guard while you guys explore.
All right.
If you hear screaming, I request that you come in anyway.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Appreciated.
Behind me, Sophia.
Yep.
Bridget is mildly uncomfortable about breaking and entering. And she looks it.
Mm.
Alright.
Breaking and entering. We're investigating a threat.
We done broke that door and we're entering. This is textbook breaking and entering.
Investigating a threat can require some questionable actions. But I would rather we break a little rule than let them kill everybody.
You're
I
standing
know,
behind
it
me.
sounds extreme. Oh,
Uh-huh.
You're going to stand behind me, and if I tell you to run, you're going to run, right?
yes.
Right?
Yes!
And not stand and look at the giant thing that might eat you again.
It was... I promise I won't stand and look at the giant thing that might eat me again.
Okay. All right, then. She has the sword out in her hand, and she's like, this is going to go badly. And looks back at Wukong and looks him dead in the eye and goes, this is going to go badly.
Your candor is appreciated.
No lies detected.
You make your way inside the tunnel, and it goes on for, maybe a minute or so. I figure you're not walking, like, very, very fast. You're being careful. The tunnel then veers to the right. And as you follow it, it begins to climb up. Not that much. Maybe, like, the equivalent of, like, 3 or 4 stairs. 3 or 4 steps. But you are definitely, like, a bit higher up into the hill. By the time this tunnel opens up on a squarish room, it looks like a locker room, or used to be a locker room. There's rubble blocking the way, whatever was the room to the right of that locker room. And a partial collapse has blocked part of a corridor that leads further beyond. The locker itself, you can clearly see, like, rooms for where the showers used to be. The lockers themselves, and even a few broken down toilets. Whatever this place was, clearly it was probably meant for people to stay there at least a bit longer than 9 to 5.
Do we see any remnants of clothes? I'm thinking like protective suits or equipment.
As you search the lockers, most of them are jammed and you have to, like, bang on them a bit to open them, but you do find a lab coat, old and yellowed.
Does it still have a label?
Yeah, it has a label on it. Well, not a label, an ID card, actually, in the pocket.
Ooh. I will take it out and read it and shove it in my own pocket.
It's D. Dot Yakowski. Yakowsky. PhD. The picture on it is faded, but you can see what appears to have been a Caucasian man.
Does it have anything like company name or anything like that on it?
Yes, on the back of it. Property of the government of the United States of America. And then 3 letters, DOD.
Just because I'm a major nerd, does this particular ID card happen to have a small RFID chip at the bottom left-hand corner of it?
Yep.
Oh, look, your federal government at work.
I thought it was bottom right, but yeah.
It depends. Active military service is in the center. If it's DOD, it can be left or right depending on where you are and which orientation you have the ID in.
I'm not 100% sure if Sophia would know what DOD is, but I would imagine that the McLeans would. That would probably be part of their history, right?
Yeah, the McLeans are former soldiers and cops. DOD would be something that would probably be former family, you know.
I'd say, like, you would know that this was, like, the government body responsible of, like, the defense of the nation. But among the McLeans, like, you don't have any, like, descendants of someone who worked for the DOD or of someone called Yakovsky.
Yeah, we might have descendants of the DOD, but that's more like generic soldiers and DOD officers, not necessarily the scientists who do specialized research. Okay, well then, I have mixed feelings about going any further here, Sophia.
Well, I mean, we know that if it's the DOD, they probably have things that go boom or are dangerous up there.
Very much so. I have severe feelings about, concerns about everything. And then she'd like hit the comm and say, Wukong, I'm going to up our threat level to just under giant frickin' worm.
Well, it's a good thing I packed a flamethrower.
And I think Sophia would request, she'd like, can I just poke? We won't go any farther, but can I just poke around a little bit more?
Do I see, like, you said there's rubble that's blocking the stairs?
There used to be a room to the right of this locker room, but it's blocked completely. Like to the point where you can't even see beyond. However, so across from where you came in, but a little bit to the left, there is a corridor. Half of it is under rubble, but someone could squeeze through and see the room that lies beyond.
I'm gonna move carefully with the sword out in her left hand to observe through that opening, making sure that we're not gonna get attacked by whoever's over there, whatever's going on over there, and say, Sophia, you got 10 minutes.
And I'm going to start ripping through things looking for notebooks and notes and all sorts of stuff. I think like this is literally Sophia's job, is to go through ruins like this and look for cool stuff. So I think she actually has like a system to get in and get out, and it's very like trained burglar almost. You know, you start on the bottom drawer so that you don't have to close drawers going up and
You are. What's your playbook again?
I'm the seeker.
The seeker. I just want to see if you have like a special move for when you. Which were the 2 moves you took?
So I took Visionary Archaeologist and World Traveler. Everything here is really about like identifying, like,
Well, Visionary
There-
Archaeologist would actually work in here because you are in the ruins of a structure
ooh, okay.
if you wanted to roll for it.
Yeah. Let's do it. Hopefully it goes better than it's been going lately with my rolling. Better.
Hey, you can ask one of the 3 questions. I would suggest not the first one.
Yeah, what is this made for? And what has happened since it stopped performing its previous function?
You are inside a lab. A testing facility, if you will. An underground military bunker. The place above, the weather station, is probably just a facade.
So likely, like, back before the fall, this may have even been like a weather station to disguise.
Oh yeah,
underground
the
military
bunker.
testing.
Yeah, the bunker predates the fall. Whatever this was, the Department of Defense used it before the end of the world. It's not new. What's happened since it stopped performing its function? For the most part, from what you can see, and what you can glean because of the fact that you're like a proficient scavenger, and no one ever came into this room, you believe that nobody actually came to this room. Nobody came to this section of the bunker. So
Would I know
whoever
if
is
that's
upstairs,
So whoever's upstairs has not come down here.
no. If they
What-
can or if they cannot, that you're not sure. But they've never been here.
Do the do not enter markings look just as old as everything, or did they look like they were made by somebody post fall?
Made by somebody post-fall. Probably the same people that removed the ghillie camo thing from around the place. Which you could surmise may be the same person that erased the question mark on the map.
Mm. Okay. I've used up more than my one question. Does
Which-
Bridget see anything?
I was just going to say, I'll give you that. The person that wrote the do not open probably opened the door, saw that there was something inside, like a place to loot or whatever, closed it back up, wrote the message to try to warn, like, so that, you know, try to scare people away, noted it down on the map, and then whatever happened, Joe Montana ended up with the map.
So Sophia's hypothesizing that somebody came in here, kind of stuck a head in, saw that it might be something interesting, left, put a do not enter sign on the door to try and discourage other people from coming in so that they could come back later.
Yeah.
And I will share this theory with Bridget, because we don't know if that person is still around or not. And let her know that I don't think anybody else has been down here in a very long time.
All right, then. Do I see anybody trying to sneak up on us through this other entrance that may or may not lead up the stairs?
Nope.
Do I see anything of interest in that other side of the room to determine whether or not I'm going to let Sophia know that there might be anything of interest over there?
The room beyond seems to be like a school's computer room.
Mhm.
Like there's a few desks that you can see with computers on them, dusty and disused. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that you can see from where you are. Actually, no, 4 that you can see from where you are.
How much of a struggle is it going to be for me to get in there?
Oh, you or Bridget, not that much. Wukong, however, would not be able to go through.
All right. I mean, I know what a computer is. I've used them, not well. She's probably going to grab, like, sneak through and say, Sophia, stay here. I'm going to slide you 2 things. She's going to grab 2 towers or whatever she can grab, the full physical tower of the computer, and just shove it through the door.
All right. So you go onto the other side.
Carefully.
And yeah, so you see all in all 6 computers, 3 of which are broken. Because a neon light from the ceiling unhooked and fell on them. The computers, by the way, were like what we would call an all-in-one computer.
Yeah.
So it's basically like monitor and everything stuck together. From the room where you are, though, you notice, so you have like these computers. There's a few vending machines in the far wall. There's a door next to the vending machines, closed, going, leading to wherever. And then on your right, after like a few paces inside the room, there's another corridor leading away. This one, if you look in it, there is on the left a door after a few feet, closed. And then the corridor keeps going and turns to the left again. Probably like offices or something.
She's going to grab one of the computers and bring it with her and say, Sophia, I don't think we are... This is a little bit more than just you and I can examine on our own. I think we take this, we get out, we come back with appropriate individuals, or we plan a little bit better.
Did it keep going?
Extensively.
Yeah, this seems like a tier 3 retrieval mission. I'm just making that up because I want to feel fancy. But I do think like if we want to go spelunking in here, we should probably have like spelunking supplies and backup and, write home to mom and let her know where you are kind of thing.
All very
but I
wise
really want to
decisions.
know what's back there.
Looks like offices of some sort.
Well, maybe I can get into these. Maybe there's still something left on them to figure out what's going on to see if it's even worth us poking around.
Exactly, and I'm sure that Wukong can help us do that in the truck, which is where I think we should take these.
Looks forlornly back. Remembers her promise. Okay.
Slowly and subtly holding one of the computers, guides Sophia out the door. Like, let's go. Let's go. Wukong coming out.
By the time you come out, Wukong has leveled the whole hill. There is nothing left. No, I'm kidding. You said a threat 1 step less than a giant worm. I mean...
I said be prepared for a threat 1 step less than a giant worm.
You come out of the ruins with the computer in hand. And I assume, like, you have everything to, like, connect it and all that. Like, You didn't just take...
No, I took
computer.
all the cords. I
Yeah.
carried, and
So, like,
you know,
it's if you plug it into a power source, it's going to work.
Can we prop the do not enter door back into the space? I know. Please.
Wukong sort of took
Just-
the door and turned it into an accordion. So I'm not sure.
No. We can't.
I'm just gonna. Can we just lay it across the door forebodingly?
Oh yeah,
Like
you
the
could like
wreckage.
lean it on.
Yeah, not like put it back into place, but just like pile the wreckage on top of the door to suggest that something strong and angry has been here. Maybe you don't want to go inside.
Yeah, it's you can even probably take like the remains of the ghillie stuff,
Yep.
throw it back over it. Like it's not the best camouflage, but it does send a message that either something very strong escaped or something very strong came in.
Works for me.
Either way, the place isn't safe.
Seems like more of a deterrent than do not enter. I will take it.
And you have a computer now. This computer would act, in game terms, as it's either tech or data. Give me 2 seconds. If you successfully manage to get into the computer, it counts as tech.
all right then. I'll defer to people who know how to get into shit. That is not my job.
I think Sophia probably could, but it's not pretty because it's all like self-taught from poking at buttons. So she's going to let Wukong take the charge, assuming that it probably has better equipment for this exact purpose.
What, you think that just because I'm a mechanical being that I know how to automatically use computers? I think that's
Yes. Was that a joke? Did it just make a joke? That's great.
I'm quite sure that Wukong has a fully functional form of appreciation for humor, I guess. Sort of.
Wukong is also here and can listen to you converse.
I wasn't trying to hide that.
I think that's another joke. That's good.
I will have a lab tech look at it next time we rendezvous with them.
Well then, say let us find someplace to possibly encamp for the area and then plot how we are going to further our understanding of this area that may or may not involve breaking or entering.
We need lights, chalk, water, and rope.
I'm sure we can get plenty of that. Actually, I know an area where we can do that. Because I can do a thing.
That's
Based on-
always useful to do things.
Yes, in this particular instance, as part of my playbook, I can spend one of my holds to reveal a shelter that your family prepared on an earlier expedition.
Nice. Yes.
And I figure, probably somewhere closer to the river near the whirlpool of death, we may have been there before.
Barely an hour away.
And we keep kind of standard gear and like little locker setups and like various encampments that we've created to, we're basically patrol rangers, and you're going to have places where people need to hold up, so there's probably like MREs and
Yeah, it's like a shack with like there's a sleeping bag, MREs, probably a few bottles of water,
yeah.
like a flashlight, and yeah, rope, a first aid kit. What you would need if you find yourself like in need.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can definitely take the time to go there and back.
I'm just thinking that it might be best to take that opportunity to plot before we begin our spelunking into this cave, and
Mhm.
also let folk know where we are, and also possibly find out if we have other supplies. And let Wukong get into this computer in a slightly more protected area.
Well, Wukong said that it would be a lab
Tech who did it.
a
Yeah,
lab
that's
tech who
right.
would do it. So you'd have to go back to Arclight Labs.
Well then,
Can I poke at it without going back? Like, do we have a power source to turn it on?
Oh, sure. The trailer.
Yeah, that could work. Because
Probably when I imagine I want to get as much info, but we did get 2 computers, so if I break one of them,
there were in total 3 computers.
yeah, but I brought out 2.
Yeah, what I mean is like if anything,
You can go back for the third.
yeah. That would be
so visionary archaeologist includes devices from the world before.
Yeah, you could use that, or I was gonna say unearthed forgotten lore would also be appropriate. But if you have a playbook move, your playbook is probably better than the like general. Hello, dog.
I apologize. Tramp does not approve of anyone coming within 300 foot of the abode.
Oh.
I think somebody came in from outside in my apartment and freaked out. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, yeah, so I have a playbook move that will let me do it. So I'm going to use that, even though it's literally the exact same thing.
Well, the exact
the
same
roll is
thing
the
that
same.
you rolled earlier.
Yeah. Ugh, nope.
And you actually break one of the computers.
Never mind. We'll let somebody more professional handle this. Good thing we grabbed it back up. That was smart thinking of you, McLean.
It's like I've been with you when you've done this before, almost.
I mean, you gotta try, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, indeedy. Well then, so I say we wait here for reinforcements, then we proceed inward carefully without breaking anything else. Maybe.
You're muted, Anito.
Sound plan.
Are you able to call like a tech here, or do we have to go all the way back to the labs?
I'm sure I can find one of the remote techs if they're out and about. Because they do travel up and down
To keep an eye on
the network.
Yeah. So maybe we'd have to go back a little ways.
Likely.
I'd say that would be a family move on the part of Arclight Lab called Uncover Secrets.
Okay.
basically, if you succeed, not only do you have a tech nearby, but they'll also successfully get into the because one of the questions is like, what's the truth behind whatever, so that could be like what's inside the computer. So that's a plus data roll for you.
Okay. Oh, I have to do that now?
Yeah. Well, if you want, you don't have to.
No, we'll do it. Where do I roll that?
I would be under your family.
You reach, grasp, and slight.
Let me see.
Data has its own thing at the bottom.
Yeah, it's at the bottom where your needs and surpluses are.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can roll them though.
No, it's just 2d6 plus 1.
Yeah, you have to type it yourself.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, neat.
Oof. You do not have anyone nearby. Not at the moment.
Well, that is unfortunate. It looks like we're on our own for a bit.
All right, then, if we are on our own, perhaps, I don't know.
You could make your way back to
The ranger station.
yeah, or I was gonna say even the Arclight lab, but that takes a while. But it could be feasible if Wukong lets you know of its location, that is.
I don't see why not.
I can tell you that because this is, you know, a PBTA system, unless you fail at a check, like, nobody's gonna come in those ruins. Like, bad stuff happens to you only as a consequence of something that you do.
Yeah, I think Sophia would agree to go all the way back and get as much information off the computer as possible. I think she's just bummed about it because that's a lot of time. But yeah, it makes sense to go back. I think that's what we should do.
I think that's what we should do, particularly as I have some feelings about individuals with the secret lab that may or may not be related to the Department of Defense. I don't want to be going into, if we can get any information before we go spelunking in there about possible dangers we may be running into, that would be my pleasure and preference.
I agree. I mean, if they were doing weapons and stuff, something could be unstable. If they were doing bioweapons, we could unleash the next Holocaust.
Or die.
Yeah.
Because
think about the bigger picture, the end of the world part 2.
Yeah. Because you would need Wukong to guide you there, Wukong would have to make the Wasteland survival check.
Okay, that's fair.
It's using
That's
your
steel?
steel, yeah. What?
You know how to get home.
So, on a hit, pick one from the 3 choices on the basic move. And because you rolled a 10 plus, you also can choose another like bonus thing.
Pick one. I guess it's an obstacle or threat is blocking your way back.
Okay.
And on a 10 plus, I am going to go with discover a secret.
What kind of secret do you... it doesn't have to be one of those listed there. Those are examples. What
Sure.
would you be interested in finding along your way?
I don't know. Something about the origin of the fall sounds interesting.
All right. Can I put a caveat to that?
Sure.
It's not going to be while you're traveling that you're going to find these secrets, but you're going to find these secrets on the computer.
Okay.
Like, just because on the way there, I can't come up with something real quick, but I can add, like, tweak what I had in the computer.
Sure.
You make your way to Arclight Labs. Is it the first time Sophia and Bridget see Arclight Lab?
I want to adjust that a little bit because I don't think
yeah.
you'd take them to the headquarters proper, but
Okay.
maybe a way station that's somewhere halfway in between the ranger camp that they were at and the actual
Oh, okay.
Arclight Labs.
So
So
near
maybe
where
just
the...
outside.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just where you click there.
Cool. So it's just a, like, field, probably the people that you called out to help repair the bridge and all that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And so you deliver the computer to them, they start looking through it. And they find the following information. This bunker that was there was designed by the Department of Defense near the end of the world to... well, actually, sorry. It was built and designed prior to that as a spying station, but it was repurposed when the kaijus first showed up to use a battering of electromagnetic pulses in a single direction, like focused EMP on the kaijus to attempt to control them. Basically to, like, prevent them from going in a certain direction and force them to go somewhere else, and use that against the enemies of the United States. The experiment proved a partial success. The bigger monsters were immune to its effects. Partly because of their sheer size and the fact that it would require EMPs, that you can generate using, multiple nuclear explosions. Than this, like, array of, like, satellites that would shoot at them. The good news is, tests were proven efficient at controlling or deterring smaller monsters, effectively creating fences around certain areas. Areas that were later on trampled, like the city that you have in the bottom right corner of the map. It used to be protected from smaller behemoths, like the wasps, like the cats, or any of the like less than what is it again? The size? Anything smaller than the Statue of Liberty. It works. Because I don't remember like the exact measurement, but I remember the picture in my mind, and I'm like, Godzilla is taller, bigger than the Statue of Liberty, ergo it doesn't work on Godzilla. But anything smaller, it works. And in fact, one of the secrets that you learn of the fall is that before the kaijus all woke up, the governments of the world had a warning of the appearance of these monsters. They would come from outer space, but not in the form of a giant monster that crashes in the ocean or something like that. It comes in the form of small, microscopic, like bacteria that mutate normal fauna and flora into the giant monsters that you see. The giant monsters that destroyed the world. Everything that you've seen so far, either from the images that you found prior to the fall, or the creatures that you have seen, they all used to be normal animals. And the last bit of secret, the warning that happened was in... I just need to... in 1947, in New Mexico. When a coyote grew 30 times bigger in the span of a night. The US government managed to bag the thing, kill it, and bring it in an underground lab in Area 51. And they covered it up with a fake conspiracy story about a UFO crash. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Bet you didn't see that coming.
Definitely not.
I hope it doesn't destroy your image of the kaijus destroying the world.
I've watched all of Godzilla. This is entirely appropriate. Go back to the original Godzilla movie, which is still very good, and you should all go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. We created it, people.
Yep. Except in this case, it's not... It wasn't created. Like, it came from beyond.
You know, I support this.
Let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, what you have going on, what your stars and wishes were for today. Let's begin with Deirdre.
Oh, hey, y'all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter, or Praxicore Thesmiophoria, as you see me around Twitch. Stars and wishes. I love the snarky, the very dichotomous relationship between Wukong and Sophia that exists. And I just love all of it. I love how they're all playing. Everyone's playing off of each other. It builds a great story for me. Wishes. I don't know. I just love the story, and I'll see where it goes. I want more. I want more story. That's what I want. As for me, you can find me tomorrow over on my channel at 11 a.m. Eastern as we start our week of Shakespeare with Winter's Tale. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we are doing Troilus and Cressida. Thursday, we're doing Henry V. And Friday, we're doing Hamlet. And you can find me over on Tales from the Grim on Wednesday as we have the season 2 premiere of Witcher Family of Wraiths. And we currently have 3 Witchers, an elf, and an unconscious sorceress on the fields in front of Novigrad. And if you've played Witcher 3, you know why that might be slightly problematic at the moment. Just a little bit. And then I'll be back here on Thursday for some Dragon Age fun, watching as certain people flirt with other people, and we may or may not be starting this week with combat. But other than that, check my Twitter because I always post where I'm going to be and all the games that I write. Because I like, and let me know what you think of them. Check them out. Let me see what you say. I would love opinions. But other than that, I'll see you next time.
Thank you for coming. Wishes, anything that you had?
More. Just more.
Just more. That's a good wish. Anino. Hi. Thanks for coming.
Hey, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Wishes. I think just being able to provide more surpluses and equipment back for ArcLight Labs. Be great. I like the fact that I killed a behemoth solo thanks to some judicious weaponry findings and destroyed nature while I was at it. So, good stuff. Anyway, let's see. Stream-wise, I will be on the Other Doc channel on Thursday for a short campaign called The Sprawl, another cyberpunk, my second foray into cyberpunk on TTRPG streams. I haven't looked at any of the books yet, because in true fashion, I will be doing that on the last minute, as usual. But again, and then on Friday, you will see me back on this channel again for Cyberpunk Red, where we will indulge in a very massive melee.
I'm not getting shot again.
Say that now.
We we'll see about that. And last but not least, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Kelly on Twitter, Kelly in chat. And I do this right now, streaming. Maybe I'll do some more soon. IDK. We'll find out. I do a lot of editing, though, for DM's Guild products. I also do a little bit of writing, although editing is more my thing. You can see one of the adventures I wrote in Unbridled on DM's Guild. It's a mess. Glorious, glittery, queer mess. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Because I also just kind of described myself as a person. So. Stars and Wishes. I enjoyed poking around ruins. I think it's really cool. I've been in a couple campaigns where there's like old, like earth like items that we don't know what they are. And I enjoy trying to figure it out from DM description. I think it's like a fun, it's very creative endeavor to talk about things like you don't know what they are. And I think it's challenging and I enjoy it. enjoyed getting more time to flesh out the character relationships this session too. I think we're seeing more about how they interact, which I appreciated. So my wish last time was to explore ruins. Done. Check. 10 out of 10 would enjoy some more. I think the next thing I'm really looking forward to is figuring out more about these factions of people. I think especially from the angle of like trying to connect what the families are doing to what we're doing. I think starting to draw those connections. I think we can already kind of hypothesize a few ways that might happen in the next couple episodes, but I'm looking forward to seeing how these discoveries, since we're making some big ones, impact kind of the family level drama.
Well, I can let you know that a lot of your, not only yours, but even Anino's wishes, the next family round is probably going to be crucial in fulfilling those wishes. And since you got the computer and everything, technically we are due for family moves. To have like a time skip of a few weeks and, you know, determine the epilogue of this. Like how will the families cope with everything that happened, with the secrets that you found and all of that. But we'll see. But I'm just like, I'm foreseeing that probably next session will also fulfill those wishes. Cool. Sorry if I cut you off. Did you have anything else to say?
Nope, that was it. That's all I had.
Okay. I'm Simon. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you to all of you who donated, who followed, who subscribed. As we said earlier, every donation, cheer, sub that we get all week this week is going to go to benefit the Community Health Network Foundation in Central Indiana. This is for frontline caregivers. We are raising money to be able to give them meals, I should say, to give them meals safely through the front lines of the COVID epidemic, so that our caregivers can actually sit down and eat during their shifts. So if you've donated today, if you've given any amount, thank you so much. I checked real quick with what came in. I think we raised like $16, $17, but it could be also up to 20. My log is all screwed up because of the loss of power earlier, so we're gonna check that out. But thank you so much to everyone who did that. You can find me again here tomorrow. Hopefully my internet will work. Playing our first actual episode of The Witcher, TTRPG, Witcher Legacy, where we have the whole group, and they are going to the town of Bruges to investigate something. I hear the trees are getting mad again, so we are going to get going. Let's see if there isn't anyone that we can raid real quick, like...
Lindy's up.
Lindy is up? Then let's go raid Lindy, because she's awesome and she's our friend, and we should definitely raid her. And now everyone hears like my audio doubled because yay, Twitch had sound. Sorry about that. So let's go spread the love to Lindy, and we'll see you again here next week. Bye bye everyone.